All right, welcome back. Continuing our coverage of the approach of Hurricane Earl, now upgraded again just at 5 o'clock back to a Category 4 powerhouse hurricane. You know, it's been gaining strength the last several hours here. One of the first places that's expected to feel the brunt of this storm down in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, places like Kill Devil Hills, also Kitty Hawk and Nags Head expected to feel heavy winds and rains over the next 36 hours, and in fact, a hurricane warning issued for that part of the United States. Meteorologist Scott Dean live in Kill Devil Hills joining us now. And Scott, give us a sense of what's going on the ground there down just south of us, about 200 miles in the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
Well, I tell you what, you'd never know that a hurricane was headed this way by looking at the sky right now. Lots of blue skies out there, a light wind coming out of the east-northeast, but we are watching the swells beginning to pick up. They've been coming in from the east and picking up as far as their height and pounding on the ocean. What we're concerned about as we get into high tide especially, and we start to get those winds increasing and the storm surge increasing, we're expecting these waves to really start to erode the beach, especially areas to the south of here towards the Cape Hatteras National Seashore, where the land is very thin and the dunes aren't very high, so we could see some overwash in those areas where the water actually goes into the sound and cuts a hole between the ocean and the sound, and that would cut off the residents down there. So certainly that's something to be concerned about. Also, we're going to see winds here, at least tropical storm strength, and possibly gusting as high as hurricane force. It all will depend on the exact track of this storm. Hatteras juts out a little bit farther to the east than where we are right now, but we're going to be watching it closely. We're already starting to see the high clouds coming in from the south. Back to you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one other thing, Scott. I mean, you're a meteorologist, as am I, and you know, this re-intensification back to Category 4 strength, along with that track, which has stayed pretty consistent right along the east coast, if not slightly further inland now, a bit concerning with this storm for places like the Outer Banks.
Yeah, that's right. We could get into the western eye wall, at least portions of the Outer Banks, and that's where the most intense winds are. But at least it looks like we'll be on the weaker side of the storm, and the main storm force or storm surge will be to the right of where the eye comes across, and hopefully that eye will stay offshore.
All right, well, Scott Dean, meteorologist down there in North Carolina. Scott will be watching that area very closely tomorrow night as the storm gets there first before coming up here toward Maryland. Thanks so much for that report there live in Kill Devil Hills.
You betcha.
All right, and we'll be back with much more ABC2 News right after this. Stay here.